California Attorney General Jerry Brown's 2008 guidelines on how to legally comply with California's cannabis laws. These are all current law, and really there is no debate required. The people of California have voted for the medical use of cannabis for a variety of their ailments. The key here is proper regulation of the cannabis collectives, because outright banning has not been successful for any municipality. I suggest you properly regulate and possibly additionally tax the cooperatives, and that would be completely appropriate to ensure that the integrity of Del Mar remains unchanged. As managing director of the 1105 Cooperative, I assure you that every attempt is made daily to operate in an innocuous manner, as we simply want to coexist and respectfully provide this service to the medical cannabis patients in the area. For example, we limit our hours of operations to 8 hours per day, and we close our doors at 8 p.m. Also, the law allows for the purchase or donation of up to 8 ounces of cannabis. We allow only 1 per patient. The reason for this is to minimize any potential redistribution, and this is just a few examples. Many more could be made. Sales tax of 8.75% and an additional 5% for charitable causes in Del Mar is currently being collected. Zoning issues such as the horizontal retail can be dealt with by creating a display window and selling educational materials, t-shirts, and perhaps free trade gifts in the lobby. In conclusion, I am here to answer any and all of your questions that you may have. And I would also like to reiterate that this is an incredibly important opportunity for you to show Southern California how to get this right by showing compassion for patients per the law and the will of the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Questions for the appellant? No questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, am I correct, we have only one other public speaker, or we have?
According to your code, the appellant 1.12.040, the appellant has 3 minutes for oral comments. Let me see this. It's written, and so doing, the City Council shall consider the written appeal document, any written response from the appellant, the city response, and any testimony received. Appellant may have up to 3 minutes for oral comments, and the applicant may have up to 3 minutes for oral comments.
Okay. I have then 2 speaker slips from the public. The first is from Judy Strang, and the second is from David Drucker, and each of you will have 3 minutes to speak. Judy, do you want to go first?
Good evening. I'd like to share with you some information that comes from a statewide group called the Coalition for Drug-Free California. What I'm handing you is a recent training that was provided to city attorneys regarding marijuana facilities and their ability to be banned by cities in California. And if you don't mind, I'll just hand that off. And then I'd also like to provide with you a list of all of the cities in the state of California that presently ban pot shops, as we call them in the prevention community, and also those who regulate. Over 200 now ban pot shops. So I'll leave that with you as well. I'd just real quickly like to walk through the law. Prop 215 in 1995 allowed a patient or a caregiver an affirmative response if they were stopped by law enforcement and they were in the possession of marijuana, either for distribution or use. When SB 420 came into effect in 2003, it allowed a patient or a caregiver to gather collectively in a nonprofit, closed-circuit relationship. It never allowed either one of them to be a retail establishment sitting out here on our front streets. The law allows patients and caregivers only to be in possession of marijuana and to circulate it among themselves. We as the public and as parents are very concerned about marijuana being established in a retail setting. We do not think it was the intent of the law, either in actuality or in the spirit of the law. We support the staff's recommendation, and we think it was thoroughly researched, and we appreciate your attention to this. Thank you.
David?
Dave Drucker, 157 10th Street. This is a pharmacy, basically. Pharmacies are allowed in the commercial area. It happens to be a pharmacy that is selling a substance that many people think is illegal. But the citizens of Del Mar have spoken very loudly on this. 64% of them voted for Prop 19, which was the legalization of marijuana. That should send a message to you all that this is something that the citizens of Del Mar would like to see. And I believe that you should hear this and figure out how to create a legally permitted medical marijuana dispensary in town.
Thank you, David. Any questions?
There is no opportunity for rebuttal by city staff at this time, and there is no discussion or deliberation amongst the council. At this point, the council needs to decide individually whether or not they want to set it for a full hearing.
So I close the public hearing. It takes 2 votes in the council to schedule this for de novo hearing.
I'll just, I can make a comment, right?
Actually, there is no discussion or
No discussion.
deliberation
No.
amongst the council at this point.
No comment.
No comment. It's
That's hard.
yeah, it's hard. It is hard, but those are the rules for this.
The purpose of your initial consideration is to decide if you want to hear it and discuss it, and the discussion and deliberation is held for that full hearing.
Okay, in the next 30 seconds, I need to see 2 hands if there are 2 council members who wish to hear this item.
Can I have another question of staff then? Yes?
You can ask a question of staff as long as it's not a discussion of the issue before
No, I
us.
just, this is just a denial of the business permit and has nothing to do with whether or not this could be discussed later, at a later code amendments or other.
The proceeding before you tonight is the correctness of the denial of this particular business license. If the council wants to take up its own code and discussion of amendment to your code, that's a different proceeding at a different time,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Any further clarification? I think the decision of the finance director is upheld. This is not scheduled for de novo hearing. We did not get the requisite 2 votes to schedule it for de novo hearing. As was indicated, that doesn't take the regulation off the possibility of a future agenda. So this issue could come back, but not the issue of the business permit denial. Okay? Thank you.
That's it.
Mhm.